Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Uso's Tribe, where I talk to you about my life and everything and anything in between. Today we'll be going the academic route again, and I will be telling you about an exam. So a few days ago I made a post on Facebook showing people my Ielts results, and I got a lot of questions like, oh please, I'm interested, how do I do this, and all of that. My DMs were flooded, and obviously I can't attend to everybody individually. So I decided to make this video. So first of all, I know I've written IELTS 3 times. I've written the academic ones and general twice. And the reason I wrote the general a second time is because I did not get a particular score in a component I wanted. There was a particular component that wanted to mess me up, but I rectified it the second time. So in my academic I got 8.5, and then in the 2 generals I wrote I got 8.0 and 8.5. So don't worry, I didn't fail it the first time. I just wanted a very specific mark or score in one of the components. So that should tell you that I'm not a newbie at this IELTS thing. I've also coached people in writing IELTS, and some of my students have gotten none of my students have gotten less than a 7 in the IELTS, including one of my friends who recently wrote the exam. So yes, I'm standing here as some sort of an authority, okay? It's not only scholarships I know. Anyway, let's get right into the video. So this video will be telling you the basic things you need to know about the IELTS exam. Before I start, this video is going to be a series. So before I go into each component, I'm just going to give a general overview of the exam so that you can know what to expect. Now, what is the IELTS exam? First of all, it's an English testing exam. It's a test for English proficiency, which is required a lot of the time when you want to either emigrate, as you want to emigrate to another country, or you want to go to school in another country. First thing that you need to know is that there are 2 major types of IELTS. There's the academic IELTS, like I've said before, and the general IELTS. Academic IELTS is usually used for academic purposes. In school, you're applying to abroad, they need a test of English proficiency, and then they ask you for IELTS. A lot of schools used to collect WAEC, or used to accept WAEC before, but a couple of them don't anymore. Like my school, I had to write IELTS to come to Queen Mary University of London because they no longer accept WAEC. So that's for academic. General, most of the time, is used for work and for immigration purposes. So for those that want to do Canadian Express Entry, Australian, blah blah blah, and they need IELTS, what you're doing is the general IELTS. So even if you've written academic before and then you want to immigrate, you must write general. You cannot use the academic you have, even if you passed it, to do immigration. There are 2 different IELTS for 2 different purposes. Alright, so now that is that, let us go into the similarities between both types of IELTS. Academic and general IELTS have similarities in that, first of all, 4 of them have the same 4 components: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. So these 4 components are present in both academic and general IELTS, okay? And now, both IELTS too are for the same time period. So they are both for, I think, altogether 2 hours 40 minutes thereabout. We have reading takes 1 hour, writing takes 1 hour, so 60 minutes each, and then the listening takes 30 to 45 minutes. 30 minutes for computer-based test and 45 minutes for paper-based test. This is because at the end of the test they give 10 minutes for those that write paper-based. When you finish your test, they give you 10 minutes to transfer your answers from your question paper to your answer booklet. But computer-based, because you're already transferring directly when you're answering into the computer, into the spaces, they don't give you extra 10 minutes. They give you 2 minutes to check your answers. So for computer-based, you're using about 32, 33 minutes to finish your listening test. For paper-based, people use 40 minutes to finish their English test. So that also brings me to the point that there is both computer-based IELTS test and paper-based IELTS test for both academic and general. It just depends on you. If you're good with a computer, you do the computer test. If you're better with writing analog, you do the paper-based test, okay? Then another similarity between both is that the listening tests are always the same and the speaking tests are always the same. So the same thing an academic person is listening to, the same thing a general person will be listening to in the exam hall. As I was saying, your listening tests most times are the same thing. Your and they are both the same time. So all the tests have the same time for both academic and general, which is 60 minutes for reading, 60 minutes for writing, and 40 minutes for listening if it is paper based. Why you have 40 minutes and not 30 minutes in paper-based tests is that when you finish your listening after 30 minutes, they give you 10 extra minutes to transfer your answers from your question paper to your answer sheet. But for computer-based test listening, you don't have that extra 10 minutes. So your own is about 30-35 minutes, which is after your listening test in 30 minutes, you have 2 minutes to just cross-check your answers, because in computer-based, you're typing your answers directly into the computer, unlike the paper-based test. So you're the one that will decide whether I'll still do another video on computer-based and paper-based tests. Now, the differences I'm going to highlight real quick before I end this video, because I don't want it too long, is that for the academic tests, reading and writing is way harder. More is expected of you, because obviously they are trying to test you on whether you can undertake a rigorous academic program abroad. So they want to test your English language skills, because most schools operate in English, right? But for general, they just want you to have a workable, knowledge of English. Can you communicate when you travel, stuff like that. So obviously, one is harder than one. And then for the academic test, writing, the first thing you're expected in writing for academic, they will give you 2 essays to write. One essay will be simpler than the other one. But for general, the first thing you're writing is a letter, either formal, informal, or semi-formal. And the second thing is a full, proper essay, okay? So these are the major differences. Then for reading, for academic, the first reading is usually simpler than the second one, but both of them are harder, obviously, than the general. General too, you have 2 readings, right? The first one is simpler, the second one too is a bit harder, but you can't compare the difficulty of the general to the academic. Obviously, the academic is way more difficult and more technical than the general. I'll still give more insight on exactly what you should expect in each of these components, but that will be in another video. That's where I'll leave you guys in this video, and I'll see you in my next video where I'll be dissecting the computer-based test and the paper-based test, what you should expect, and then maybe one component of the test and what you should expect, the principles to passing that component. So until my next video.